Our next guest can teach you how dancing can boost your brain and birdsong can dull pain. Her new book, Hack Yourself Happy, is out now and is chock-a-block with ways to optimise your well-being. So we're always Gladbury to see the very Radbury, Julia Bradbury!
Yes! Bradders is in there.
I love that, the Gladbury Bradbury. Thank you, Tilly.
Yeah.
See you after your next holiday.
Last seen in a beautiful field in beautiful Hampshire.
Yeah, we were car festing.
Yeah.
Well done. You were running around, and I felt for you because Eli was in hospital, you were really balancing.
You know, if you find a big enough why, you'll always find a how. That's the thing, isn't it? Now, you and I, we'd often double, quadruple denim together, and you were doing that a lot at the festival. But then you said, "I'm ready for my close-up." What was that thing that you threw on at the last minute?
What was it?
It was like a sort of, I don't know.
Oh my gosh! I tell you exactly what it was. It was a gift from my lovely, lovely friend Melissa Roderbach. How many people can say that a bikini designer is their really good friend?
So what was it you were wearing?
And it was a romper suit, but it was a body bit, so it had shoulderless. It was shoulderless, and it was pink and white, and it's floating. It's actually for the pool, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to put her cowboy hat on, and I'm going to rock it as a festival look.
And you did rock it.
Thank you very much.
Amazing. This
Thanks,
book
darling.
is amazing. It is 2 years in the making. Hack Yourself Healthy, Julia Bradbury. So this is basically like a compendium of the stuff we all talk about all the time. Because Julia, you've had the conversations with the go-tos, with the sages, with the pillars of the temple of not lifespan, healthspan. Tell us the difference.
So the difference between lifespan and healthspan is, I'll give you a very good example that cuts into sort of the hacking thing. I've had my DNA tested, and I have a longevity gene. It's called the Foxy gene. So that's great. You think, brilliant, I'm going to live for a long, long time. However, as one of my DNA specialists, Kashish Khan, said to me, yes, you've got that Foxy gene and you could live for a long time. However, you might be hanging on in there with lots of horrible illnesses, and it could be a bit grim.
Yeah.
You could be, 100, but literally sitting in the chair in the window, having no life at all.
Who wants that?
And who wants that?
Not me.
So healthspan is to be able to enjoy these last, I'm going to go for 15, 20 years of our lives in full bouncy strength and vitality and, living, not just sitting in a chair and being there.
Yeah, and you have faced the unthinkable far too prematurely, haven't you? So for people who don't know...
So in 2021, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and it really was a wake-up call for me. And actually in the book, there are several reasons that I posit that I could have contributed to my breast cancer. We'll talk about sugar in a moment because it's a big thing for you, and I've got something frightening to read to you about sugar.
Stuff about sugar.
But I had a very, very high sugar diet. I also didn't sleep very well, as in I didn't honour my sleep. And Professor Sachin Panda is circadian rhythm expert. In the book, he talks all about the power of sleep, the importance of it to rejuvenate and reset ourselves every single night, including boosting our immunity to fight off things like cancer. So I wasn't doing that very well. I also had IVF, and what I've also found out through my DNA testing is that I've been hormonally imbalanced all of my life. And when you then tinker with your hormones that are already in a bad place with something like IVF, it's going to have a downstream effect. Now, I have two beautiful girls, twin girls, Zena and Xanthi. Xanthi's here with me today.
Hey!
So am I ever going to say I wouldn't have had the IVF? No, but gosh, I wish I'd known all this stuff about DNA and how I could have measured it more.
But we are where we are. And had you known all that, you wouldn't have written this book.
No, and I don't think I'd be here talking about this.
It's so funny, isn't it? Because I wouldn't be here. Well, I might not be here had I not moved to Marlow, because it was in Marlow that my massage therapist saw my skin cancer and told me to go and get it sorted out. Whoa. And my journey to Marlow was like, you'd never choose it in a million years.
No.
I mean, you choose Marlow every day, but getting there was a whole different ballgame. You discovered other things via other examinations. What's going on inside your head?
So I had a full body MRI. Which is quite controversial because a lot of people say, oh, well, I can't afford to do that. And I realise that. And obviously, in the book, I'm trying to write about interesting things and cutting edge things. And I'm trying to put things out there that I believe will, in a few years' time, be readily available, a bit like mobile phones. Mm-hmm. But the full body MRI, I think, is a wonderful way of you literally scan the whole body. And I discovered a brain cyst. The base of my pineal gland. Kevin O'Neill, who's Davina McCall's brain surgeon, he had a look at me and he said, there's nothing to worry about. As far as he's concerned, I probably was born with it. It doesn't look to him, and this is a man who's been inside about 7,000 brains, so I trust him. He said it doesn't look like it's growing, and it's something that what he wants to do is look at it again in 6 months' time, check that it's not moving and taking up real estate, valuable real estate in the brain, and then based on that, go off and lead your life.
Look at my notes.
Look at your notes. I love you and your notes. I love it.
Yeah, written in the book. So here we go. Chapter headlines include snooze or lose, spit happens when the spit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Tell us about spit. Go on.
So it's something that's coming to more and more prominence now, and that is, and I say that this is one of the best hacks we can all do, which is flossing. So if you floss, I think you have something like a third of a less chance of getting a heart attack or a stroke.
It's ridiculous.
It's amazing. So a lot of our bacteria our oral microbiome bacteria is caught between our teeth, and the only way to shift that bacteria, that bad bacteria, is to floss. And it makes sense that our oral microbiome is attached by this big long tube all the way out to our bottom, that it's attached to our stomach microbiome, and we know that our gut microbiome now, we know that that's hugely important when it comes to health. Dr. William Lee in the book, who is a scientist and a real expert on cancer and vascular health, he writes a very moving piece about how he saved his mother. She was diagnosed with cancer and sent home to die, and he fixed her gut, and then he gave her 3 separate sessions of immunotherapy, and she's just celebrated her 90th birthday. She was sent home to die 10 years ago.
And that was stage 4.
That was stage 4.
Stage 4, and this is proven. It's not anecdotal.
No,
it's scientific.
It's scientific, and he's a bona fide scientist. And the link with the oral microbiome is, of course, if you've got bad bacteria in your mouth. By the way, don't use mouthwash. Victoria Simpson, who is the doctor who's the dentist in the book, she said, unless you've been prescribed, if you've got something going on, then gargle, but it should be for like 2 weeks, and it shouldn't be something that you pick up in the supermarket. You're killing everything. It's a bit like antibiotics for the gut microbiome. And how many people are gargling with mouthwash every day, thinking they're doing the right thing?
I know, taking the time. And the thing about flossing is, it sounds so obvious, but you've written a good few pages about it. It's not just floss, we know that. No, but when you sort of read why, and as you get older, the gaps in your teeth get bigger, and you get more stuff stuck in your teeth. And again, if you change your diet, you get stuff stuck in your teeth, but it's stuff that's better for you. That's
right.
So if it's still there for a bit longer, it's not as important.
Exactly.
It's so funny, isn't it? It's so funny, Julia.
But we're linked. The whole body is a body system.
Of course it is.
And it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, they say that, if you one of the problems of designing a brand new car, sorry to bring it back to cars, is that
we love cars.
Designing a car is fantastic and great fun and all that kind of stuff. But for it to then come off the production line, 10 things have to go right. And if one of them goes wrong, the car's worthless. And it's the same because, we are our own factory, aren't we?
And let's bring the car analogy back to our bodies as well. How many people expect their car to keep going for 80 years without any servicing, without replacing any parts, without any testing?
Yeah. We're kinder to our cars and our dogs and our cats than we are
to
to
boilers.
Ourselves.
I always joke about it and say our boilers. Our boilers are more checked and serviced than we are.
We were talking about this today because Tash, we just got back from America. We rented this house, this massive washing machine. There are 6 of us, sometimes 7, 8, 9, 10 of us. And she's like, it was the greatest holiday ever because washing only took 45 minutes. So we come back to England and she's thinking about getting an American-sized washing machine anyway. And then our washing machine goes on the blink. And then we're talking about our service warranty, our extended service warranty, which is like Bupa for your washing machine. So you'll invest in the health of your washing machine, but you won't invest in the health of yourself. Oh my! Which is why you bought the washing machine in the first place, because it's your clothes. It's got anyway.
I know.
Don't get me started.
I know. Don't get me started. I call it healthnomics.
Yeah, I love it.
Work it out for yourself.
So there are lots of brilliant people in the book. The sort of 3 go-tos are 2 ladies and 1 man.
Yeah.
So who are they? Give us the 3 superstars.
Okay,
of the book.
so we'll start with Dr. Cara Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Dr. Cara Fitzgerald has.
Oh, this is all in this book.
She's done incredible testing, and she has reversed biological aging of men and women in these trials by adapting their lifestyles and giving them particular food.
Totally.
So in the foods, she gives you Dr. Cara's 12 must-eat foods every week, and I will give you 2 of them for free right here and now. Blueberries and omega-3s, so something like salmon. And there are 10 more. So incredible. So reversing biological aging via food. Dr. Naisha Winters. She is a naturopath. She is an integrative oncology expert.
Yep.
She was also sent home to die at the age of 19 with stage 4 ovarian cancer, and she's still here, and she's dedicated her life. She's now over 50.
Wow.
She's dedicated her life to working out metabolic health and the connection between our metabolic health and cancer, and how if we treat our terrain, as she calls it, we can overcome certain diseases.
Now, I'm not saying you've left the best till last, but you've definitely left the most colourful till last. Who are we going to next?
Okay, you love this man, I think. Ben Greenfield.
I do love him for so many reasons.
So Ben Greenfield is probably one of the most famous biohackers in the world.
Yes.
He is quite a character, let me tell you. You're particularly intrigued by his penis gymnasium.
Well, only because it jumped out at me in the book, the book.
Well, I think his penis is probably jumping out all over the place now.
So what's going on with that?
So he's a man of extremes. However, what I will say is he's become less extreme, I think, now. I don't even know if he's 40 yet. But the other day I heard him talking about how much he loves walking.
Right.
And we talk about retro walking backwards in the book. But yes, he's had stem cells injected into his penis, and he has used something called a penis gym. Obviously, I haven't been able to test that one out myself.
No, but you did talk to him about it, or he talked to you about it.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about this pelvic floor machine. Because Tash is 46, nearly 47, pelvic floor issues, especially with her running.
Yeah.
She's got to go on these long runs, and her number one problem because she can't train for it, is the pelvic floor problems.
I'll say, so you can train your pelvic floor. You've got to do those squeezy innies
but they
all
take
the
forever.
time. They do take forever. So there's a machine now. There's a lab called the Human Lab, which is in London, and I think these biohacking labs are going to pop up everywhere. Again, they're going to become more and more accessible and more affordable for everybody. But they have a lab. They have a chair in there you either sit on. I can't remember what it's called because I called it the Orgasmatron. But you sit on this chair.
That's what you call it in the book.
Yeah, and it electric shocks your legs, and your legs start twitching all over the place. And actually, what it's doing is it's working your pelvic floor for you, and it's phenomenal. You sit there for 35 minutes. Okay.
Look at my note.
Okay.
Can you read what it says there?
What? Yeah. I mean, I loved it. I must say, it was an enjoyable experience.
Why wouldn't you?
It's an enjoyable experience, but my leg just kept.
Yeah, no, I get
Twitching
it.
up and down.
But you have to surrender to that, because that can be if you're squeamish, things like that. Your muscles involuntarily pulsing. That used to go through me.
I don't mind it at all. I mean, it was 35 minutes of fun for me.
No, I get it. Yeah. Under pressure. My first stop is the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. There's so much talk about hyperbaric chambers. We have this thing because we're sponsored by the National Lottery, and we have this list of things you have to buy if you win the Euro Millions, right? In order to carry on listening to the show. Now, if you don't buy them, it's fine, but you're no longer allowed to listen to the show anymore.
That's fair enough.
And hyperbaric chamber is the newest entry on that list.
Number one.
What is one?
Basically, what you're doing is you are boosting your oxygen to the ultimate degree, and you sit in it looks like a private jet. You sit in this capsule, if it's a nice big one, and they put an oxygen mask on you, and they are putting oxygen into your body at a very high pressure to oxygenate your blood and your organs to the max. Really important for us overall, because we need to get but you can do similar things through breath work. I have to say, when people go, I'm never going to be able to, I'm not going to win the Euro Millions, and I can't afford a hyperbaric. Breath work can do exactly the same thing, and there's a very lovely chapter about the chemistry of breath work, with Patrick McKeown. And
Patrick McKeown has changed my life.
Well, me too.
Changed my life.
And my son's life as well.
Really?
And Anders Olsen is another expert. And it's fascinating listening to different experts about why. So Anders Olsen loves CO2, and he talks a lot about the benefits of CO2 and how prevalent CO2 is in nature, and how, for example, certain birds like woodpeckers have a high measures of CO2 in their head, so that it helps them with the pounding of the bark of the tree, and it protects them.
How on it is nature?
Nature
giving everything it needs to be whatever it is,
including our lessons of regeneration, of pausing, of letting things be, of health of our soil, surrendering. Yeah.
So when I'm on my way to work, well, not on my way, when I'm getting up for the day, so there's three things that I have to have with me. One is my work pass.
Yeah.
One is my credit card.
Yeah.
And one is my phone and headphones. They're the three things. I can forget everything else. Clothes, car.
Yes, please.
But they're the three bitty things. Now, I've got about 25 things, but I've got to have those 3. Going to bed at night, the 2 things that I must have. Number 1, my eye mask.
Yeah.
Number 2, my mouth tape from Patrick McEwen.
Yes.
And he sent me some, and I'm just about to run out, and it has literally changed my life. And every night I put my mouth tape on, and I say...
And it's got a little hole in it, hasn't it?
and I
Because
say-
people get frightened about them, that their lips are going to be closed tight.
And I say, thank you, Patrick. And I'm not joking. And sleep hygiene changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. Let's talk about social fitness.
I'm going to talk about social fitness.
Sorry, go ahead.
But I wanted to mention, let's go back to nature. I did a really lovely experiment with the professors who you should get on, actually, from Exeter University. And we did this experiment where it was an attention and speed test. And then my sister Gina stayed behind and read more emails and drank coffee. And I went off for a coastal walk. And then we resat the test. And I improved my scores and my performance by 20%. But this bit you're going to love, and I think you might help me with this. They also worked out how much time I spend appreciating nature every day. So I go out of my way. In the morning, I do daylight, and I'm looking at the trees. I take the kids to school, but I walk them the more nature-rich way. I walk my dog 3 or 4 times a day. I walk before I go to bed. I look at the moon before I go to bed. I'm really embracing nature snacking throughout the day. They worked out, you'll love this, they worked out how valuable that was to the NHS. So they converted that time into something called METs, and then they convert metabolic equivalents, and then they converted the metabolic equivalents into something called QALYs, which is about quality of life, and then they transferred it into monetary value. And I save the NHS £1,700 a year just by doing that nature snacking that I do during the day. How much do you think, if the entire population of England did the same amount, just England. That's what we worked it out on England. How much could we all save collectively in
12
England?
billion.
81 billion.
81 billion.
81 billion. Do you know what we're at the moment? We're at 2 billion.
It's crazy, man.
If we could just get people to spend more time outside,
It's crazy.
It would be insanely great for
when I'm
the
outside,
population.
which is a lot.
Yeah.
I always try and touch like the bushes and even railings on the way home. I just touch them, and it gets me in the moment as well. And it's what kids do all the time, isn't it? They run their fingers across fences and
trees and earthing and grounding.
Oh!
Do you want me to scare you about sugar now, or have we got a little bit longer?
It's so simple. Let's just take a moment.
Okay.
Let's just take a moment. Julie Bradbury, she's awesome, isn't she? This book, Hack Yourself Healthy, Julie Bradbury. It's hard not to be persuaded by Bradbury's positivity and enthusiasm of the times. I love the fact they just call you Bradbury there.
Bradbury.
It's cool, man. It's cool. All right, so you got to scare me about, is it sugar? Are we going sugar first? There's 2 things we've got to talk about.
Okay, you tell me. You start.
Well, definitely sugar. Let's go in with sugar.
Okay, let's go in with sugar.
All right, I still have a problem with sugar. I'm pretty good at everything else. Not great with sugar.
So Robert Lustig, Dr. Robert Lustig,
Love him. Love him.
Yeah, he is. He's the god of sugar. So I'm going to read this for you slowly.
Okay.
Because we need this to really hit home. So
Okay.
fructose. So this is the sugar that we don't need. So by the way, we have absolutely no requirement in our body for all the extra sugar that we take at all. Glucose, we need a little bit to run our brain, and all the rest of it. We have a teaspoon of that running through our blood. We don't need any of the extra stuff. All it's doing, zero. It's overloading our liver. So fructose shuts down mitochondrial function, and it is a mitochondrial toxin. So mitochondria are these little organelles that are in our cells that give us our energy. They are literally our life force. If you have cancer, your mitochondrial function isn't great. If you have something like diabetes, your mitochondrial function isn't great. If you've got any of these chronic diseases, it's basically down to mitochondrial function. So anything you can do to boost these little puppies, you really want to. Dietary fructose acts as this toxin. The liver gets overwhelmed by all the extra sugar in the gut, and then it reroutes it from making energy into making and driving insulin resistance and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Now, Robert, I've become quite friendly with him now over the years through various meetings and stuff. He used to look after a clinic of children. He has seen children who have this thing called fatty liver disease. I mean, my blood glucose level is 4.7. It's fasting, it's very low. He has children, he's seen children in his clinic that it's registering over 100. Their livers it's like they have been drinking alcohol. It's exactly the same. But this is the other scary, scary bit. And I have to read this because it's quite scientific. when you haven't got insulin resistance, insulin is important because it's helping you manage glucose, but it's also storing energy. It stimulates a different pathway, which is called the MAP kinase pathway and the ERK pathway. And this pathway is responsible for vascular smooth muscle proliferation, coronary artery vascular proliferation, and therefore what it's doing is it's making your coronary arteries tighter. And that can drive heart attacks. It also causes cell division because insulin is a mitogen and it causes the cells to divide. So Robert says, so if it were to cause your breast cells to divide, you might end up with breast cancer.
So what do we do?
So here we've got this, and I'm not going here, sugar gives you cancer.
Right.
As we can see from everything we know about the body, it's systems, it's pathways, it's little things that clink along and then
so what should we
cause
do?
a problem. We have to take sugar seriously. We should not be consuming more than 25 grams of sugar a day, he says.
If I eat the fruit bowl, is that bad for me?
Fruit bowl is good. So fruit is fine.
Can I eat as much fruit as I want?
What? No, because there is sugar in it.
Right.
But what you've got with the fruit is you've got the fibre and
Yeah.
you've got the cellulose, and it's reducing that spike.
Fibre is your friend.
So fibre is your friend, and we should all be eating way much more fibre. Also really good for colorectal cancer and colon cancers, having more fibre in our diets. We just have to be more serious about sugar. I am deathly serious with sugar with my children. I am pain in the mama, because I'm like, look on the back and tell me how much sugar's in it. And I say, how much have you had today? And I get them to tell me how much sugar they've had, and then I go, no, you're over. You can't have this today.
So I love really healthy granola, right? Cooked by my wife did she did like a couple of batches yesterday.
Yeah.
But then I love dried cherries on it and raisins and things like that, and dates in there.
Okay.
And they are so sugar dense. They're little sugar bombs. How bad are they for me?
So dates are good for you. You can have 1 or 2 dates a day in Ayurvedic medicine. They love dates.
So every
but
day
have
is
them
day day?
whole every day. That's what they say in Ayurveda. Ayurvedic. Do you know what you should be having instead of your cherry? Well, no, instead
Tell
of...
me.
You should look into dried cranberries.
Right. We have dried cranberries.
Very high in sugar, so don't have too many,
Yeah.
but Dr. William Lee loves a cranberry. Do you know why?
Come on.
It's got something called akkermansia in it.
Akkermansia?
Akkermansia, baby, is in the microbiome, and people who have high levels of akkermansia fare much better when they're having their immunotherapy for cancer.
Love it. I was going to talk about booze. You don't booze anymore. I don't booze anymore.
No, well done.
You could do if you wanted to, but you don't want to. And why would you?
I wouldn't anymore. Not only have you got the sugar issue,
Yeah.
so it's high in sugar, but it's also a toxin. I mean, it genuinely is a toxin. It's linked to 7 different types
know.
of cancer. I must say, I big up Claire Pooley in the book. She wrote the Sober Girl Diaries. She's written for me in Hack Yourself Healthy an excellent questionnaire to ask yourself about your relationship with alcohol. If you answer yes to more than 2 of the 5 questions, you probably should start looking at alcohol in a different light.
But the thing is, I can't throw stones because for so long I lived in
Me
that
too.
glass house. The Glass House Arms.
Yes.
In fact, there's a pub called the Glass House, isn't there, in Soho? That's where I lived. Thank you, Julia. Let's hear it for Julia Bradbury.
Thank you very much.
Come on.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
Hack yourself healthy, Julia Bradbury.
Virgin Radio.